episode of Vice Radio Manager channel. Today we're talking about Pinery Residences. We will just dive straight into it. Okay, let's go. Okay, so Pinery Residences, we go straight into it. Developers is by HoiHup and Sunway MCL. The recent launches that they did was Continuum, actually still doing, Terra Hill and Key Residences. I must say, and a vouch for them is that their interior, their landscaping is actually very, very nice. Even the way they do their spaces in between, really, I vouch for them. It's fantastic. Okay, now location of Pinery, very important. Now Pinery is going to be over here. You see this blue land over here. It's going to have my level 1 commercial shops as well. So what is near us is actually this Tampines West MRT station, which you will have a underground 24/7 passage linkway that gives you access all the way through. And then of course you're also rather near towards that Bedok Reservoir site. But we are actually just one MRT stop away from the main Tampines, which is at this area. Tampines is where you have your mega malls, all within just one MRT stop away. Okay, now of course surrounding us, we're going to have your HDB units towards the right at the bottom of us. So these units are actually currently construction. I would say we are looking for 2 to 3 more years before we get to move in. Okay, then for Pinery, we're going to have 588 units available for us. We're going to have approximately 60 units, which is at level 1. Of course, these units depend on the tenancy or the profile of the tenants. They may want to amalgamate, therefore bringing 2 units into one, it's possible. Then other than that, we are also looking at a few main anchors inside already. So we have Mulberry, prestigious, one of the more prestigious childcare center. We have FairPrice Finest, and we also have Kopitiam. So these are already confirmed that they will have access. Car park, I'm looking at 80% parking with 164 commercial separated lots. So not to worry, car park is plenty as well. And then we'll be looking at 2 bedrooms all the way to 5 bedrooms. These are a few illustrations of Pinery. So as mentioned, level 1 is where your commercial lots will be. Level 2 is where the car park. And then for 588 units, we have level 3 all the way to level 14 over here. So if you look slightly into the site plan, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks available. Full corner facilities, you have your main 50-meter pool here, the kids pool, the jacuzzi pool, the tennis court. So you have your pavilions separated across the project as well. So these are some artist impression. But maybe one last image that I wish to show is the level 1 accessibility. If you're looking over here, you can see clearly that the retail, the F&B, the community plaza, supermarket, food court, everything is all mainly at level 1. This is Pinery Residences. Okay, then of course, one of the main important factors is that we are within 1 km of St. Hilda's. So there was a bit of a dilemma between are we within both with St. Hilda's and with Swastika. So it's been confirmed that we will be 1 km of St. Hilda's, but with Swastika we will be within 2 km. But with that being said, I feel that we should emphasize just a bit more on St. Hilda's because St. Hilda's is a GEP, which is a gifted education program. Previously so recently they stopped this GP already. The last cohort is actually from 2026 onwards. 2027, the whole entire GP model will officially end. But this also means that in Singapore, there's essentially only 9 GEP schools, and St. Hilda's is one of them. The other one was actually Rosai, and we all know how well 100 Pumps Affinity did from this school itself. So I thought this was one of the more important drawing factor of Pinery as well.
Okay, so I think Jason have explained quite a bit to show us where exactly Pinery is and what it entails. But I thought what better way to start the podcast than to just address the elephant in the room, right? What's the key difference between Parktown and Pinery? Yeah, it will be quite sus if we go through the entire podcast without mentioning Parktown at all.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Amanda, what do you think are the main differences between Parktown and Pinery?
I think the key difference, while, on the surface it feels like Parktown and Pinery are quite similar because both developments are integrated developments in the Tampines area. And that was how I felt too when the land was first sold. The Pinery land was first sold. My first thought, as a layman was that, another Parktown. Yeah, but on closer look, I realized that while both are integrated development, it actually serves 2 very different group of buyer in the sense that for Parktown, the scale is a lot bigger. The land size itself, we are looking at about 500 over K square feet, whereas for Pinery, we are looking at a land size of about 200 over K square feet. So I say that it actually targets a very different group of buyers is because Parktown will will be a mass development, whereas for Pinery, I would say it will be more like a mid-sized development. So that will be the key difference. And of course, area will be another big thing as well, where Parktown is located at Tampines North, where there are still a lot of things that have not been built up yet. There are a lot of empty lands that have already been zoned as residential, but things are not, it's up and coming. Whereas for Tampines West, you already have the HDBs that are being built there, the amenities that are being built there. So no right, no wrong on which one is better. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I personally think, of course, like what you mentioned, Parktown, I honestly thought that Parktown will have a bit of advantage at first because I thought, it's a mega development, I'm looking at near 1002. But I realized that there will be a lot of comparisons between Pinery that actually Pinery can maybe be comparable towards Parktown. I think number one, it's of course the density. I mean, no right, no wrong, like what I mentioned, but some people, if you prefer maybe not to be a bit, just a bit more away from the main crowd, then Pinery comes up. I think the next important factor over here is that if you notice on the left, it's the main Pinery Residences. It's actually half of Parktown, which is on the right. So if you can see, right, this Parktown land, it's ginormous, it's about 50,000 square meters, but towards the left, is actually where your main bus interchange, your community club, as well as your hawker center comes in. Your main commercial will still be spread slightly over the first edge over here. And in comparison to Pinery, Pinery has about 60 shops available. Parktown as of right now, we don't know exactly how many shops will be available, but I feel that because of that, then actually it feels very okay because it doesn't feel, although my land is not as big, but my usage of my shops to the residences is still very okay. I mean, something I can accept lah. Then I think maybe one more small difference, what I highlighted already, is that for Parktown, you will have your bus stops, your bus interchange, you will have your hawker centers, then where else? Community center as well. Then, but for Pinery, you wouldn't have that. So because of that, that land differs slightly by a bit lah. But if you were to really look into the true Tampines, right? Because honestly, the real Tampines, I mean, Tampines will know lah, that you can see Tampines West is where Pinery will be located. Then if you notice for Parktown, we'll be looking at this station over here. So if you are looking to head towards straight to Tampines, right, then this is one straight road. But for one straight line lah. But then for Parktown, you do have to just change at the Pasir Ris side before coming over to Tampines. Just some small, very small differences lah. Okay, so next question, of course, Amanda, we do have a rough estimation on indicative pricing. What do you think of the indicative pricing of Pinery so far?
So, of course, the indicative prices are not official by developer yet. These are determined purely based on the land price and the leadership sensing of what the price could be based on their interaction with the developer. So, when it comes to the prices, in terms of 2-bed, 2-bath, we are looking at likely starting from 1.4 mil, and then for 3-bedder, 1.9 mil onwards, and then for the 4-bedroom, we are looking at about 2.6 mil onwards. So in terms of PSF perspective, we should be looking for the developer to launch between 23XX to 24XX, which is in line with their land prices actually, if we are looking at a margin of about 15%. So when I look at that, and it was very coincidental when, we are at a time where Pinery was launched, and at the same time, I also recently sold 2 resale developments.
Oh yes, congrats.
Yeah, two resale condo developments in Simei as well as in Tampines. So it gives me a very good perspective on, what is the price something that is reasonable. So if we are talking about 3-bedroom wise, we are looking at a price of 1.9 mil. So looking at that price, my first thought is that it's reasonable. Yeah, it's reasonable not because I'm an agent, that's why I say it's reasonable. Given that I have to put it out there that I'm not a Tampines person. So for me, so for me to say that it's reasonable, it has to have its basis lah. There's no emotion to it. The reason why I said that it's reasonable, in fact, a very attractive price if developer really launched from 1.9 mil, it's because if we were to compare to a similar resale product in the area. I think the closest would have to be Pasir Ris 8.
Yes,
Yeah.
one of the newer ones there.
Correct.
As well. Yeah.
So Pasir Ris 8, like Pinery, also has that integration component where it is integrated to a mall. But the only thing lacking for Pasir Ris 8 is that it is not exactly integrated to the MRT. Yeah.
Correct.
So that's the key difference. So that would be the closest. But if we look at the transaction of Pasir Ris 8 in the past 1 year, we look at the 3-bedder, the 1023 square feet 3-bedder, which is what we call the standard 3-bedder, right? It has already transacted at 2.25 million. Yeah, and that's not a single transaction. There are quite a few transactions that are in the 2.2 mil range. And then going back to Pinery from 1.9 versus 2.2, there is a gap. Yeah, in a sense, even if we are looking at a bigger 3-bedder layout for Pinery, it could well be lower or even similar to what Pasir Ris 8 has already transacted. And what I did essentially for Pasir Ris 8 is that it is a pre-harmonized project.
Correct,
So
yes.
at 2.25 mil, the pre-harmonized PSF is about 2002 already. And it translates to a post-harmonized PSF of 2003. So when you put everything like that side by side, you realize that Pasir Ris 8 is actually commanding at the same PSF as Pinery. I don't know about you, but from my interaction with my clients, Pasir Ris is always known as a least preferred area as compared to Tampines.
Actually, yes.
And the tendency of residents in Pasir Ris traveling to Tampines for their amenities needs, right,
Yeah.
is very high. So using that as a comparative, right, I see that it will be a very safe entry for Pinery if Pasir Ris 8 have already transacted at such price in a further out location.
Actually, I second that because you were comparing to Pasir Ris 8. So just a reminder, we are actually located over here for Pinery. So when I'm looking to this area, I'm looking at the district of what is in this area in Tampines, like what is the resale commanding thus far. So of course we have Parktown. But when we look into the resale is the ones that's already moving, right? We're looking at Treasures at Tampines, even for Tapestry. So these are projects where we are looking at already 1009 PSF. And like what Amanda mentioned, these are pre-harmonized projects, which means there is a bit of a calculation formula that we have to adjust. Okay, so if you're looking based on the resale in this area, Treasure at Tampines is already at 1926 PSF. Treasure at Tampines is something which about 92 years already. So 92 years, there is about a 7 year difference. So we always use 50 PSF. So 50 PSF times 7, right? If we were to fully maximize Treasure at Tampines all the way to 99, we'll be looking at 350. Then with that, we will add in a 1926 plus 350. So 1926 plus 350, we work out to be around that 2002 XXPSF, which to me, right, if Treasures at Tampines, something a bit more further, less amenities, less the school radius, it's already at this PSF. Then comparing towards Pinery, which will be launching around that rather same PSF 2002, and then comparing that, this one will be pre-harmonized and post-harmonized. Then I feel that actually for the price that Pinery will be launching, it's actually rather justifiable. Let's talk a bit more in detail about the unit mix, the floor plans, etc. So if you can see that, that's what I mentioned, everything will start from level 3 all the way to level 14, and then we will have 2-bed, 2-bath onwards all the way to 5 bedrooms lah. Okay? Then from here onwards, based on the unit mix, you can also see that because I don't have 1 bedroom, right, my 2 bedrooms, it's some projects, right, you will have 1, 2 bedrooms, the investment units, right, quote unquote, more than half, but for this time, not really. This time you can see that, actually, my 3 bedrooms and my 4, 5 bedrooms, right, is actually the one that's more than half, about 57%. Okay? Then, Amanda, you've seen the floor plan. What do you think about the floor plan thus far? Maybe we'll start with the 2 bedrooms first.
For myself, 1 2-bedder layout that stood out to me the most is actually the show flat unit, which is the 2-bed plus study. So why I say so is because I am amazed at Sunway HoiHup how they managed to squeeze in 700 square feet for a 2 plus study. Because a 2 plus study, like for example, a 2 plus study in Parktown, we are looking at a square feet size post-harmonized at 764. So that significantly changed the quantum quite a bit. So this was something that really stood out out to me for that floor plan. And also another thing that I really like about this floor plan is the fact that the bedroom is integrated to the study. So this reminds me a bit of Continuum. I mean, not surprisingly, it's the same developer. Yeah. So this gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of how I want to use that study. And given that we are in an area where people buy for own stay, I feel that this is very important because this addresses the concern about bedroom size. If I feel that the master bedroom is not big enough, then I can probably integrate the study with the bedroom too, to make it my so-called my real master bedroom in that sense. And of course, the third thing that I really like throughout the 2-bedroom layout, it's the storeroom. The presence of storeroom.
That's what I want to say.
Yes, which is something that we see throughout in Continuum as well. And it's something that is very important because where are you going to store your luggage if you don't have a storeroom, right? So these are some of the key attributes. Three key points that stood out to me for the 2 bedrooms.
I think for me it's the same okay, but but I think because we always see the same floor plans. I must say that this time the 2 bedrooms are, because they only start from 2 bed 2 bath onwards, the 2 bed plus study, like what Amanda mentioned, I think we like the same things also. My bedroom here can convert easily to the study and become a main master. Then essentially both bedrooms will have your own master bedroom. But like Amanda mentioned, the store here is very important. Typically 2 bedrooms don't come with storerooms. Very rare we have that, but it's very good, very nice that HoiHup actually thought of this, and then they recognize that 2-bedroom owners stayers also want their own storeroom, and then they provided this little storeroom over here with your washer come dryer right here. But I think most importantly is also there is an enclosed kitchen, and I can't complain about this floor plan. I think it has everything that people are looking to in today's new launch market. If you're looking onto the 3-bedroom this time,
how about we have some fun?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, then we say the type.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
C1.
C2.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I go C1 first. I like C1 cost 807 square feet. 807 square feet just right over, let's make sure the screen can see. So 807 square feet. It's something where people who are buying for 2+ studies, right, because it's compact enough for people to look into this floor plan, and then it becomes an option for them to upgrade into it. And then of course, I don't need ventilation. I know the market, a lot of people like the window ventilation here, and for the main kitchen, right? But you can see that clearly from here onwards, if you're looking at the main site plan, it's actually in between the buildings itself. But because of that, you wouldn't have that window access. But I am perfectly okay as long as it's compact enough. And because of 807 square feet, one of the reasons is because it's a dumbbell layout. Then because of that, you get to save a bit more. So I feel that you go with the most comfortable 3-bedroom in any launch, right? Typically, it can't go wrong. Typically, it cannot go wrong. Okay, what about you, Amanda?
So for my favorite, it's actually C2. It was very obvious to me because I think the key part is actually the kitchen. So unlike Jason, we mentioned about Tampines being a place where people buy for own stay, right? So livability is something that is very important. Not saying that you don't like livable condition. But I believe that the majority, rather the common concern about new developments is that so long as you go for compact layout, a lot of time there won't be windows in bathroom.
Correct.
And there won't be windows in kitchen. So I thought this is beautiful in the sense that it gives you ventilation for the bathroom as well as the kitchen. On top of ventilation, we are also talking about lighting, right? Yet at the same time, it is being kept at a palatable quantum because the square foot, the size is only 861 square feet. I thought this is something that is really amazing because a lot of times we don't need that 900 over square feet. We are taking that 900 over square feet because of that window in the kitchen and in the bath. So I thought this is something that will really stand out. And I see that this kitchen layout is getting increasingly popular in the new development. I think one of the first time that I saw this recently was probably Promenade Peak. Right? Yeah, where the kitchen is right outside. At the side rather.
I must say this, I've seen the show flat, right? The windows are huge, by the way. It's gigantic, and of course I think one of the most favorite pointers of 3-bedroom lovers is this store over here. So compact enough to not take too much square feet, but then still big enough to have a store. I think well done. I think
your mother will like it.
My mother will love it. Okay. Okay, so next up we're gonna look into our 4. But 4 of course is a lot lesser lah, right? 4-bedder, because I have quite a bit of variations of 3-bedroom. But 4 bedrooms I have about 5 different layouts of 4-bedroom. Okay, so at the count of 3, what is your favorite 4? D2.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. You want to go first? You go first.
Okay, ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
So D2 stood out to me because I think one, I think if you have listened to the podcast long enough, you'll know that I'm a fan of landscape layout.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's one. So D2 has a component of study where you can choose to knock down the study and to give you a landscape layout. That's one. And the second thing is that instead of a household shelter, it actually gives you a storeroom instead. So that means that if I do not need the storeroom, I could possibly hack down the storeroom. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
Yeah. And of course, the most important part about D2 that I like is the fact that the developer is able to squeeze 4-bedroom with a landscape layout within 1195 square feet. I thought that was something that is really very amazing because in the most recent launch, we are looking at River Modern. We were also able to get landscape living at about 1100 odd square feet, but one less bedroom. Yeah. So I thought that this is a layout that's very attractive because you get landscape, 4-bedder, you don't need to sacrifice any bedroom, but your size is still kept at the most minimum that it can be.
For me, I think same thing as one manner. I would typically prefer a store than a bomb shelter because I like the flexibility of hacking down the walls if need to. I think one small component is because I like this glass area over here as well. So typically I like it when you're preparing the kitchen, I can have supervision over the living area. I like it as glass as well. It's like
Who do you need to supervise? Like Reaper, the cat?
I need to supervise my kids if they run around. Now of course I think like what Amanda mentioned, it's because of the landscape living. Landscape living, it's a little bit more rare into this market. If you can get a landscape living, I think it's good. But also interestingly, you can see that they have this little study window panel over here. It gives you a bit of access towards the balcony if need be. If you don't want that landscape living, you do this into a proper study. It is still a 4+ study. 4+ study at the quantum 1195. I'm saying that it's probably one of the lowest or most achievable, most obtainable price that we can get for 2026 for this size or for proper 4+ study. So I feel D2 is it's my go-to. Really is my favorite, my go-to. Not saying anything bad about the D3, D4. Of course, the bigger the better. And then but of course we do see just some small difference with the D4. Some people like this privacy. Some people feel that maybe I don't need. So that's why I think D2 it's a bit of my favorite one. Okay.
And I think riding onto that, right? I mean, rather adding on to that point, when it comes to buying a property, it's always about safety, right? As much as you are buying into it for own stay, you also need to ensure that when you are selling, it is liquid. Yeah. So yes, I'm buying for my own stay, but I need to make sure that it's liquidable so that when there's a need, there's a call for me to immediately sell my house to upgrade to somewhere else because for an opportunity, then I could, right? So another reason why D2 really stood out is because D2, a 4-bed+ study, is 1195, which is very close to C7, which is 1055. That is only a 3-bed+ study. So whenever we see that, a 3-bedroom versus a 4-bedroom is similar in sizing, it's always advisable for us to go for the bigger bedroom type, even though it means a little top up in terms of the quantum. Because traditionally or based on track record, we always see that the bigger bedroom, when entered at a similar quantum, will of course reap you a bigger return.
It's very interesting. My aircon is over here. Might be one of the first few times I've seen. First times that I've seen this.
True.
Yeah. Okay. So now onto our last unit type, which is our 5-bedroom, and there is only one 5-bedder. Of course, 5-bedder there's really nothing much for us to compare about or to not like. Any 5-bedder, of course, size is king, size is everything. And I mean, just sharing like with you, I think this one kitchen, you can see it's way bigger this time. Not only that, you also have a dry kitchen just right over here. Then in terms of my landscape living, I have the option. This one I can hack if I want to. Okay, but looking at this, this is 1475 square feet. What are your thoughts on this, Amanda?
Honest?
Yeah.
I feel that in terms of the 5-bedder, right, I would have wished that it is bigger in terms of its wall to wall.
You mean
Yeah.
the landscape living here lah?
Correct. Yeah, I feel that at a point when I'm at a 5-bedder, I really
You want
need
a
the
landscape,
living room to be huge. And it cannot be that my 4-bedder has a wider living as compared to me. It is just something that don't sit quite well with me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would expect that there will be more family members in the house.
For sure.
And living room, or rather personal space, becomes very important. Yeah.
This one, they give you the option is to hack wall if you want to, but because of this slightly odd angle over here, I cannot hack the entire thing. I can't
But
even
when you hack, it becomes very wide. It's too wide.
unless you do a half one over here. But then
Yeah.
this one becomes something. Okay, but I get what you mean because
Yes.
it's not in the best position to hack lah. The main size that they gave into this 5-bedder is actually the main master. So the walk-in wardrobe comes in. You have a huge area over here. You can put your dressers if need be. King size bed over here. But I think I see my 5 my heart still belongs to the D2 leh. I still quite like my D2. Yeah, when I'm comparing it to the 5 lah, it just feels a lot more functional lah.
More spacious.
More spacious. I think that because of about 200 over difference in square feet, I think potentially 4-bedroom, it's price wise maybe something more adaptable. I mean more obtainable for me lah. Okay.
Okay, so Jason, I'm curious. So, just now we talked about deciding between the resale developments, comparing the resale developments in the Tampines area as well as Pinery, Parktown. But what if today I'm a buyer and I'm not looking strictly in the Tampines area? What are other options I have in the same quantum in the new market that I can explore?
Wow, I must say that. Okay, so some projects comes into my like River Modern, but we know PSF is 2008 onwards already. So definitely not in the same category. Then upcoming ones, I got Lentor Garden, but school-wise, I just feel that St. Hilda's does position itself slightly better. But of course, Lentor Gardens has its own buying factors as well. But based on exactly what I'm looking for, I may be out of options. In the market, I would say based on this pricing, I got not much options left. What about you?
Same actually. Yeah, I realized that whenever I speak to a client that is looking at the quantum that Pinery will be launching, right, it's always compared with Lentor Gardens. Yeah, because both of them are in the same quantum range, yet at the same time, both development has the proximity that many Singaporeans are looking for, such as proximity to mall and proximity to MRT. So I would say that, let's say if my quantum range is within 2 million for a compact 3-bedder, right, these are probably the only two options.
Correct.
Yeah, if not, we will then be looking at other options. If in the north, then we'll probably be looking at the Springleaf area. Yeah, but then I won't have the mall.
And you won't have the school.
Yes, I won't have the school. If not, I'll be looking at the west. Probably, I think what will be similar in quantum will be Tengah Garden. Yeah, but that will be a different area altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So I get what I mean. It's really a bit like one of its kind. I don't see at its price range and you have everything. You have the mall, you have the school, you have the transportation. It's nothing else already this year.
And I wouldn't say that, it is Pinery is better than the other two. I would say that if you are stuck in this range and perhaps you're an investor, right? And you don't really mind where the location is, I would say that to decide, right, it really depends on what type of buyers you are. So Pinery will be for buyers that believe in a mature area. Yeah. And then Lentor will be a buyer that believe in the up and coming. Yeah. Whereas Tengah, you are believing the transformation.
Correct.
So it really caters to different group of investor where I would say that Pinery, you are banking on track record. Yeah, so you are perhaps paying a little bit more premium as compared to Tengah, where it is lower quantum, higher risk, but higher return.
I feel that a lot of the own stayers, right, wouldn't mind Pinery. Pinery.
And is it Pinery or Pinery?
Is it? Oh, yeah.
I think today maybe we have said
Pinery.
different.
Yeah.
Pinery. Oh no, I said Pinery.
Yeah. I was confused.
Sorry,
about
HoiHup.
partners. Yeah. But I feel that because of like what you mentioned, Pinery own stay, because it's like what you mentioned, everything is done. Like everything is provided for you already. You don't need to wait for a bit more of a transformation. Like everything you need is literally right there. So for people who want to stay and then get immediate comfort, right? I think this is one of the better options. But I think I want to ask you, Amanda, would you, because you're also looking for a new place,
Yeah.
would you look into Tampines? Last year we had this conversation. You said you're not a... But Parktown did amazing. So I'll
Okay.
ask you again. Okay.
I think it really depends on what's the purpose of purchase.
For you, whatever stage you're at now.
I mean, if we are looking at own stay, then knowing me, that's not an area that I am comfortable with. Yeah, because I feel that for Tampines wise, it's a bit crowded, too crowded for my liking in that sense. But that's also personal. Yeah, because I know that certain areas that I like, some people may feel that it's like, you know, it's so quiet, it's not comfortable. Yeah, so in terms of own stay, maybe not. In terms of investment, I must say that my perspective of Tampines really changed. I think 1 year ago, I didn't believe in the power of Tampines. Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, we can be real here, right? We're friends.
We can.
So I didn't understand the hype of Parktown, to be very honest with you. I just like, how come I woke up one day at 8 a.m. and realized that, you know, Parktown is like 90% sold. 90%, right?
94 right now.
Yes, correct. And I got a shock. But I think the past year, a lot has changed in terms of my perspective. Interacting with my clients who stay in Tampines, selling different developments in Tampines. And that's when I started to see the value of Tampines. Because the number of inquiries that I receive for Tampines development is off the chart. It is so popular, so high in demand that I just asked them, you know, I was asking Jason like, hey, what's happening? How come my phone keep beeping? Yeah, so if you ask me from an investment perspective, it will definitely be something that I consider. Yeah, in fact, I was even asking one of my friends, hey, actually really can consider like for investment given the hype around this area. Yeah. What about you?
I would, you know me lah. I stay anywhere also can lah. I need doctor.
I mean, you have stayed in
I stayed in Kitchen before. I think for me, I'm okay to rent. As of right now, I'm already renting. I'm okay to rent and then buy a new launch, which is what we're doing now lah. So, Pinery would be something that I would put my money in. I think for own stay also, I am okay. I am really a very chinsai person. I don't mind staying anywhere. Yeah, so for me...
So don't trust him for own stay tips or something like that. Just do.
but anyway, I think can. I think for me, Pinery, investment-wise, because I'm always about numbers, I'm very number-centric, Pinery so far has been not bad option, frankly speaking. A not bad option. Okay, and that comes to the end of our podcast for Pinery Residences. I hope it has helped you slightly by a bit. Amanda, when is the preview coming in?
So for Pinery, the show flat is slated to be open from 14 March all the way to 24th March, and booking is likely to be on Saturday, 28 March.
Yes, so we are just within almost 2 weeks away from Pinery. So of course, if you guys want to come here to the show flat, please contact us. Our contacts are in the description as well as over here. And then if you see us at the show flat, just come and say hi. I think it would be nice.
Yes, but of course, don't feel pressured in any way. Let's say if you really just want to come by and take a look, just let us know. And we can definitely share more in depth in person in terms of our objective assessment of different projects all across the island.
Yes.
And with that,
yes. Bye-bye everyone. See you guys in the next analysis. Bye.
Bye-bye.